Hey, hey. Hi. How are you this evening? I'm good, thank you. Making it. How's class going? It's going. As long as it keeps going. That's all that matters. Keep going, keep going. Just keep on going. Well, hey, Naya. We'll get started in just a minute. Gia, I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot to send it to her. I don't know, I was exhausted today. These past 2 nights, I don't know if it's because it's cold and the flu season or it's COVID picking back up, but I don't know. We were a full house, 6 patients apiece. Everybody that has pneumonia or urinary tract infection. And it was just wild. Wild, I tell you, wild. So yeah, I'm a little tired, but nevertheless, we in here tonight. Yes! Oh my gosh! Yay! You got 100. Oh my gosh! Yay! Yay! You're welcome. You're very, very welcome. I know you are glad to have that out the way. Oh my gosh. I'm so happy for you. So happy. Now you can, I don't know if y'all's program was like my program, and we had dosage calculations like on every test. So, you know, like maybe 4 or 5 questions at the end of the test, you knew were going to be dosage calculations. So, basically, you know, you can count that as 3 points. So, good job. I know you're so excited to be done with that. Oh, man. Alright, we get started here in a minute. Yay. It makes me so happy. I'm gonna go ahead and switch it over to Sunshine Cutting Book. Let's see, study screen. Are we doing sunshine out there, cut it up. I don't know. I can't see. Let me see. I can't see myself. We'll save that hard one for last. I'm not gonna start with that one. So don't y'all panic. I'm sorry. Let's see. Okay, so we got sound, but I don't see myself. Well, at least we can hear. Okay. So let's start out with something simple. We'll do, oh, that's why. Here we go. Hey, Chris. Alright, we'll do some metric conversions to start off with. And are we good with dimensional analysis tonight? Or do we need ratio, proportion, or anything different? DA okay? DA okay? Okay, so I'm just going to do dimensional analysis. If you want something different, then you can put it in the chat. Alright, so when I start, I will always like to look for the conversions that I know. So, let's see, 1 cup is 8 ounces. 1 ounce equals 30 milliliters. So my rule for dimensional analysis is to start with what it is that we're looking for. So we are looking for milliliters. So let's go over to our conversions. Lo and behold, we have something with milliliters on it. So I'm going to use that one and have my milliliters on top and ounce at the bottom. We know that we are looking for milliliters, so everything else has to cross out. Okay? So now we have ounces at the bottom, so we would need ounces at the top so we can cross out ounce at the bottom. So 8 ounces over 1 cup. Ounce crosses out. Okay? Now we have cup at the bottom and we need cup at the top to cross that out. So we'll use our cups from the problem. So 0.75 cups. And some people like to put it over 1. You don't have to necessarily put it over 1. You can just leave it as it is. And now we are able to solve. So we'll multiply across the top, multiply across the bottom, and get our answer. So 30 times 8 times 0.75 equals 180 milliliters. Because 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. Anything over 1 is going to be itself. Okay? Alright, you can't see this one. Okay, so 75 milliliters equals how many teaspoons? So once again, we will start out by writing our conversions that we know. So 1 teaspoon equals 5 mLs. We're going to start out with teaspoons on the top because when I do dimensional analysis, if you start with what you're looking for, you ain't got to go find it. Alrighty? So 1 teaspoon equals 5 mLs. So now that we have mLs at the bottom, we need mLs at the top. So you'll insert your mLs from the problem. You see they crossed out. That'll be 75 divided by 5. And how many teaspoons is that going to be? 75 divided by 5 is 15 teaspoons. Okay? Easy enough. Alright, so this one is converting pounds and ounces to kilograms. So if you have a problem like a pediatric patient and the baby is such and such pounds and such ounces, and you need to know how many kilograms the child weighs, then you will have to first convert the whole weight to pounds and then go to kilograms. So we'll write to the side what we know about the conversion. So 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds, okay? And then there are 16 ounces and a pound as well. Well, it would be BS. I'm about to say, why is it so different? I guess because I updated to iOS 17 and it got all my settings off. Alright, so 1 pound. Yeah, there we go. Alrighty. So, in order to make this whole thing pounds, you're going to have to convert your ounces to a decimal. So, the way that you would do that is, we're looking for pounds. So, 1 pound is 16 ounces. I don't like how this one is either. Let's see. Okay, so you got ounces at the bottom, you need ounces at the top in order to cross it out, right? So then we have 4 ounces. So 4 divided by 16, and then that's going to give you a decimal, which is 0.25 pounds. Now, you would add the 0.25 pounds to the 20 pounds. So that's going to be, why is this not minimizing? Okay, 20 pounds plus that 0.25 pounds would equal 20.25 pounds, okay? So now we can convert this into kilograms. So 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds. Then we have our pounds that we found out from pounds and ounces. They cross out, and you can solve now. So that's 20.25 divided by 2.2, which is 9.20 kilograms. All right. So, next we'll do some calculations from hours and minutes. So sometimes you'll be asked to calculate the length of the infusion of an IV, and you want to give the answer in minutes and hours. So this is going to be your hours column, and this is going to be your minutes column, okay? So the way that we're going to convert this to hours and minutes is take the minute column, so 0.76, and you multiply it times 60. So 0.76 times 60 is 45.6 minutes. So you can say that's 46 minutes. So this will be 7 hours and 46 minutes. All right. Let's do some ins and outs. I heard that in my head, my Maya Angelou voice. Alright, so calculate your patient's intake for your 12-hour shift from 7P to 7A. So we've got tube feeding infusing at 40 milliliters an hour. You got 30 milliliter water flush. You got a blood transfusion. You have 20 milliliters of saline flush. After that, you got a azithromycin piggyback over 1 hour. So let's pay attention to this, okay? And then you got a flush. They're getting normal saline at 100 mLs an hour. They drunk 2 cups of coffee, 4 cups of ice, and 8 ounces of orange juice. All right. So we know that in order to calculate the ins and outs, you have to convert all of your units of measures to milliliters. So we have the tube feeding that's going at 40 milliliters an hour from 8 o'clock to 6 o'clock. So 8 is 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 10 hours, right? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 10 hours. So you would multiply 40 mLs times 10, which would be 400 milliliters that they got right there. And then your 30 milliliter flush is just that. It says that they got a blood transfusion, which is going to be 250 mLs. And then a flush. And let's skip this one and hold on. So it says that it's 7P to 7A. So you would think automatically, okay, so that's 12 hours. So they're getting 1,200 milliliters for the shift. Okay, so that's 12 hours. So they're getting 1,200 milliliters for the shift. Hold that thought. So look here. It says azithromycin IV piggyback at over 1 hour. So it took 1 hour for this azithromycin to infuse 50 milliliters. So that's okay to put this 50 milliliters because 50 milliliters is 50 milliliters. However, while your IV piggyback is infusing, and hold on, my broadcast on this too. Alright, so while your IV piggyback is infusing, your primary fluid, which is the normal saline, is not going. So you have to take that in account. So instead of 12 hours that it was going at 100 milliliters an hour, it's going to be 11 because during the time that they was getting the IV piggyback, it wasn't giving the normal saline. So this is going to be 1,100 instead of 1,200 because you have to account for that hour. And that's where you might get messed up trying to do ins and outs, because it's so easy just to calculate and add all the volume that was ingested together, but you gotta look at stuff like that because people are sneaky, okay? So then, to the 10 ml that you have from your flush, so 2 cups. So a cup is what? 8 ounces. So 8 ounces is, so it's 240. So 240 times 2 is going to be 480. Then 4 cups of ice. So with ice is not going to stay ice. Ice is going to melt. So therefore, you have to do half of the amount of ice. So instead of 4 cups of ice, you would do 2 cups. So a cup of ice, okay, so a cup is what? 8 ounces. So 2 times 8 is going to be 16 ounces, right? So 1 cup is 8 ounces, which is 240, times 2 is 480. And 8 ounces of orange juice. So an ounce is 30. 8 ounces is 240, okay? And you would add all of this together, and that will give us our intake. So 400 plus 30 plus 250 plus 20 plus 50 more plus 10 plus 1100 plus 480 plus 480 plus 240. That's going to equal that much on our shift, okay? Alrighty. What is going on here? Edit. Okay. Came late. Yes, we are doing dimensional analysis, and welcome. You're not too far in. I start with metric conversions, simple, like the more simpler math, and then we move, and then we move on to like the more complex problems. But hey, welcome to Work It Out Wednesday. All right, so order 500 milligrams of drug X to be added to 250 milliliters of normal saline. IV piggyback over 90 minutes every 6 hours. Available from the pharmacy is drug X 1 gram vial with instructions to reconstitute with 3.3 mLs of bacteriostatic water, resulting in a concentration of 125 milligrams per ml. How many milliliters will be added to the normal saline to administer the correct dose? So this got a lot of stuff going on in this problem, doesn't it? It's got a lot of fluff. So what I want us to do is to break down this problem and see exactly what it is that it's asking us for, okay? So the question is, how many mLs will be added to the normal saline, okay? So we're looking for mLs added to the normal saline. We have 500 milligrams of this drug that we want to be given to the patient. And it's got to be in the normal saline, which is 250 mLs. And that's going to go over 90 minutes. That don't even matter right now because it's asking us how many milliliters is going to be added to this bag, okay? So the rest of this information is basically going to be fluff. So that's going to be fluff because we're not looking for a rate. We're not looking for a frequency. We're just looking for how many mLs are going to be added to the normal saline. All right, so we got a vial, and it's got 1 gram in there. Okay, cool, nice to know. And then it says to reconstitute it with 3.3 milliliters of bacteriostatic water. Okay, cool. So we know that reconstitute just means to add water to a powder to make it a liquid solution again. Okay, or suspension again. Okay, cool. Nice to know. It's fluff. It's fluff, it's fluff, it's fluff. The only thing that you need when you have these reconstitution problems is the concentration. Concentrate on the concentration. That is the only thing that you will need is the concentration. It don't matter about how big the bottle is, if it's got 10 milliliters in it, if it's got 20 milliliters in it. What is the concentration, okay? The concentration, the milligrams over milliliters, the units over milliliters, the whatever weight of that drug over the volume that it's in. Okay? Concentrate on concentration. So, going back to our problem now, we know that we need to add this much, this 500 milligrams to this much. So this part is going to be fluff too. So we're looking for milliliters, right? So we'll take our concentration, which is 1 milliliter over 125 milligrams. So when I do dimensional analysis, I like to start with it with what I am looking for. So we're looking for milliliters, and we got 125 milligrams per 1 milliliter. So that's where I got this from, okay? Right here. So then we need milligrams. We need 500 milligrams of drug X to be added to your bag of normal saline so that you can give it to the patient. So 500 milligrams. Cross that out, cross that out. And what are we left with? Because what's on the top has to cross out with what's on the bottom. We're left with milliliters, which we are looking for. So 500 divided by 125, what's that going to be, 4? Sometimes it you'll know the answer, but you're like, I'm still putting this in the calculator. So 4 milliliters is going to be added of your drug X, to your IV fluid bag in order for your patient to receive the ordered dose. How you feel about that? Because once you know what you're looking for and you walk through the steps and you see everything else that's crossed out, all that other stuff was fluff. That's meant to throw you off. You're like, okay, well, I see this number. What do I put this number in at? What do I put this number in? No. If we figure out what it is that we're looking for and what the question is asking, then that's how you do it, okay? I'm pretty good at dimensional analysis, but all the fluff, yes. I'm in the process of making some more fluffed up problems because that's what really trips people up. You can know how to do dimensional analysis, which in itself is a task because sometimes you don't know where to start or which numbers to use, which units to use, and that's why I like to kind of do it step by step the same way every time. These problems are going to take practice in order to get good at them, in order to get used to them. So if you do it the same way at the same time, then you'll, see what it is that you're looking for, how they cross out, and you'll get your answers. But yeah, that fluff can take you out the game. So all your other stuff was just fluff. Okay, nice to know. We need the concentration, which was right here, and how much of the drug we are looking for. See, that's what, Naya, all that fluff makes you second guess. But no, we're not gonna second guess here. Some T's mass conversion. Honestly, I've never had to take the T's test to get in school. So I don't even know what type of math is on the T's. What type of math is on there? Something big. Is it getting cool where y'all at? I'm in Alabama and it's still kind of warm outside, so we still got mosquitoes and everything. Let's see. It's like metric system. Okay, well, metric is just based on like hundreds, thousands, tens. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, kilograms. Oh, kilometer. Lord, kilometers. Ah, it's getting me. I told y'all I was sleepy. I had a full patient load last night. I was tired. So to miles. Oh, okay. So like if you use dimensional analysis and you know your conversions, then you just set it up like that. Whatever's on the top has to cross out with what's on the bottom. And since you guys are here and you are appreciating the content on this live, I would appreciate if you tap that screen for me, send some lights out into the algorithm. I appreciate it. Thank you. All right, so let's move on. Moving on. Order. Drug H 60 milligrams in 100 mLs of D5W. IV to infuse in 20 minutes by an infusion pump. What is the infusion rate in milliliter per hour? Okay, so we still good on dimensional analysis. Yeah. Because honestly, that's what you... I used to be a formula and ratio proportion type person, but like I said, I've been delivered. No T's, no. No, I didn't have to take T's. You know, the ACT and just your different points that you got for your prereqs and like the grades that you got on those. That's how you got in. California, baby. California is like the mecca of nursing, okay? I want to get it there. Alright, so what it is that we're looking for in this one is milliliter over hour. So we want milliliter to be at the top and hours to be at the bottom. So this 60 milligrams, that's going to be fluff, because what's that got to do with a milliliter or an hour? Not a thing. So we have 100 milliliters of D5W. Okay, that's cool, but that's fluff too. And it's going over 20 minutes. And it says infusion pump. So we know that there are two ways that you can give an IV. You can give it in a infusion pump, which will be milliliter over hour, or you can give it via gravity. And those problems have your drop factors in it. Okay, so we're going milliliter over hour. So like I said, I start with every time what it is that I'm looking for. And if it's not there and you need a conversion, start with the conversion. If you got your milliliters, you know everything else is going to cross out until you get to the bottom where it's hours, okay? So, 100 milliliters over 20 minutes, okay? So we need milliliters over hours, don't we? So we need to include a conversion, okay? So 60 minutes over 1 hour. Because there's 60 minutes in an hour. You cross your minutes out, and you're left with mLs at the top and hours at the bottom. Whoa, buddy. Look at here, look at here. So 100 times 60 is going to be 6,000 divided by 20 would be 300 mLs per hour. You're like, oh my gosh, that's so fast. Like, yeah, it would be fast, but I mean, you're giving over 20 minutes. So your pump is only designed to go in milliliters per hour. So you're giving, I guess, 3 times as much the amount in, like, you know, in a 1/3 period. So you have to kind of look at it like that, because you'll solve it and you're like, that's a lot. But look how the time is. It's 20 minutes. So it's got to go fast if you can only give it over an hour in your pump. Okay? Alrighty. So a dose of 5.5 grams of medicine has been ordered for a patient. The medication comes in 500 milligrams per 5.5 mLs. What volume will you give to the patient? Okay, so we are looking for volume. So volume would indicate milliliters. So if I'm looking for milliliters, I'm starting with milliliters. So our concentration is 0.5 mLs over 500 milligrams, okay? So look right here. This is the amount of drug that's been ordered, right? But it's in grams. You can't put grams on the top and let it cross out with milligrams because we're looking for milliliters, right? So we gotta cross some stuff out. Not gonna work. So therefore you have to put in your conversion. So milligram right here, gram right here. 1 gram is 1,000 milligrams. Your milligrams cross out. And then now you can put your 5.5 grams, which will cross out, and you are left with milliliter. So, 0.5 times 1,000 times 5.5 over 500. So it's going to be 5.5 mLs that's given to your patient. Okay? I don't know why I got baby shark stuff in my head. I want to sing it so bad. Okay. Alright. Must resist the urge. Okay. A 65 kilogram patient is prescribed a medication for 10 milligrams per kilogram per dose. A 10 milliliter vial, not vial, is available with a strength of 5 milligrams per ml. How many milliliters will you give to your patient? Anybody know? Anybody know where we're going to start it? Hey, Courtney. Hey to anybody else who's joined us who I haven't spoken to. Hello. Welcome to Work It Out Wednesday. Breaking down nursing dosage calculations, getting rid of the fluff, understanding dimensional analysis. Yup. You are right, Miss 100. On it. Yes. Fluff. Okay. So, if we are looking for how many milliliters we're giving to the patient, I'm going to start with my milliliters on the top and my, the rest of the stuff is going to cross out, okay? So, in this case, I like to pick out what it is that I need. So P. Patient prescription product. So patient prescription product is a little saying I like to kind of go like, okay, I need this. The patient's weight. The prescription is your order. And then your product is your medicine, okay? The strength of the medicine. So our patient's weight is 65 kilograms. This is our order, and then this is the amount, the concentration of the medicine. So I'm gonna start with milliliters, okay? 1 ml over 5 milligrams, okay? So then we can move to our middle P, which is your prescription. You see those milligrams right there that we're gonna put on the top? Because we want what's on top to cross out with what's on the bottom. So that is 10 milligrams per kilogram per dose. So now we got kilograms and dose on the bottom, okay? So we need our kilograms, which is already been converted, so you don't need a metric conversion right here. You can just put 65 kilograms and it'll cross out. And now we're left with how many milliliters to give for 1 dose, okay? You're finished. 10 10 times 65 divided by 5. So that's going to be 650 divided by 5, which is going to be 130 milliliters. Okay. There. Thank you for sharing the lives. I appreciate it. Thank you for all the likes. I appreciate that too. Alright, there is 450 milliliters remaining in the IV bag. The IV is infusing at 75 milliliters per hour. How much longer will the IV run? So we are looking for hours and minutes. Okay? Oh my gosh, that song is stuck in my head. Okay. So, hours and minutes. So remember when we first started the live, we had like 7 point something hours. That's what we're going to look for. So technically you won't do hours and minutes. You'll be looking for the hours, and then you will convert hours to hours and minutes at the end. Okay? So we're looking for hours. So what do we have? We have our rate, which is 75 milliliters an hour, and then we have 450 milliliters that's in the bag. Let's do it. So I'm going to put my hour on the top, because that's what I'm looking for. So 1 hour over 75 mLs. And then we have milliliters at the bottom, so I'm going to put milliliters at the top so it can cross out. 450 milliliters. Boom, boom. And so what are we left with? Hours. Hours and hours and hours. Alright, so that's 6 hours. So we didn't even have to convert it to hours and minutes. So 6 hours. So that's how long that it will take for the rest of the fluid that's in the bag to infuse. 6 hours. How y'all feeling about these tonight? How minutes? No minutes. Just 6 hours on this one. But are you asking me how would we convert if it had minutes? Okay, so say if this were equal to 6.42 hours. Okay? So this is your hours. And this is your minutes. In order to convert this part to know how many minutes, well, this part, excuse me, you would take 0.42, take the decimal part of it, and multiply it by 60. So, yeah, it said hours and minutes in the question, but I mean, it was 6 whole hours. 6 hours and 0.000 minutes. So you didn't have to include the minutes on this one. But say you ended up with like a decimal behind your answer. Like in this example, you would do 0.42 times 60, which would be 25.2. So that would be 6 hours and 25 minutes. Okie dokie. Alright, drug C. 15 milligrams per kilogram per day by mouth in 2 divided doses. The child weighs 33 pounds. Available is 125 milligrams per 5 mLs. How many milliliters will be administered per day? And how many milliliters will be administered per dose? Okay, so patient, prescription, product. patient is 33 pounds. Your prescription is this. And then it says in 2 divided doses, all right? And then we have our concentration of our drug. So when the prescription or the order gives you milligram per kilogram per day, and then it says you have to do it in 2 divided doses, this is going to be the total amount for the day. In one day, you have 2 doses, okay? So depending on what the question is asking you, that's how you're going to set it up. So it's asking us 2 different things. One is how much is going to be given per day, and how much is going to be given in 1 dose. So let's set it up. So we're looking for milliliters. So we're going to take our drug concentration, and that's going to be 5 mLs over 125 milligrams. All right. And then we'll go to our order, and you have 15 milligrams per kg per day. Your milligrams are crossed out. So next, we can go to our patient's weight. But the weight is in pounds, and we need it in kilograms. So therefore, you will have to put in a metric conversion. So 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds. All right, so kilograms is crossing out. And now we can put our weight, which is 33 pounds, and your pounds cross out too. So this is telling us how many milliliters per day, okay? That's the first question. So now you can multiply across the top, multiply across the bottom, and divide. 5 times 15 times 33 is 2,475, and then 125 times 2.2 is 275. So 2475 divided by 275 is going to be 9 milliliters per day. Now, you can simply divide the 9 milliliters into 2 doses, which would be 4.5. But if you wanted to see how it's done with dimensional analysis, this is what you would do. Okay? Because sometimes a lot of students like to go ahead and convert and do other math before you put in dimensional analysis, and that's how you can get messed up, because in dimensional analysis you're going from step by step, you're seeing each unit cross out as you go, so you might get something confused or left out. So in order to find out how many milliliters per dose, you would set it up almost the same way, but you'll add a couple more conversions. So 5 mLs over 125 milligrams. 15 milligrams per kilogram per day. 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds. So cross out, cross out. 33 pounds, cross out. Now, in one day, there are 2 doses. So days cross out, and you have milliliter per dose. So that's going to be 4.5 mLs per dose. What would we think about that? What would we think about that? Do I need to further explain any of those steps? No? We good? There is silencio. All right, moving on. All right. So, order 500 milliliters of normal saline to infuse over 4 hours. Available is 500 ml of normal saline bag with IV tubing drip factor of 10 drops per milliliter. How many drops per minute will the nurse administer the fluids? Okay, so we are looking for drops per minute. Our volume is 500 milliliters and our time is 4 hours. And then we have a drop factor or a drip factor of 10 drops per milliliter. So remember when I said we have 2 ways to give a IV fluid administration? 1 is a pump, 2 is via gravity. This one's going to be via gravity. And we know this one by the fact that there is a drop factor. So anytime it says drop factor and it's saying, to find the rate, it's going to be drops per minute because you have your drop factor on there. All right, so if we're starting to, if we're looking for drops, I'm going to put drops at the top. So 10 drops per ml. All right, so now we have 500 mLs over 4 hours. That's your rate, okay? So milliliters are going to cross out, and we have drops over hours, but we need drops over minutes, don't we? So we need one more conversion. So that's 1 hour is 60 minutes. So hours cross out, and you have drops per minute. Now you can multiply across the top and the bottom and divide. So 10 times 500 is going to be 5,000 divided by, what's it, 240. So that's going to be 20.833333333333. Repeating. And we can't give 0.8333333333 of a drop. So therefore, we have to round up. So that's going to be 21 drops per minute. Yeah, 21 drops per minute. 21. 21 drops per minute. Yep. All right. Let's see. Continuing on. Your patient has an order for a heparin infusion to start at 18 units per kilogram an hour per the practitioner's orders. His weight is 125 kilograms. The heparin infusion comes in a 500 milliliter bag with 25,000 units. Calculate the starting rate of the infusion. So that's going to be in milliliters over hour. All right, this one is PPP. Patient prescription product. So our patient's weight is 125 milligrams. What's been ordered is this right here. And then we have our heparin bag of 500 mLs with 25,000 units mixed in it. So we are looking for mLs over hours. So I'm going to start with my milliliters on the top from my product, my medicine. So 500 milliliters over 25,000 units. Okay, so now we can go to our middle P, which is the prescription. 18 units per kilogram an hour. Sorry, units cross out. What's on the top has to cross out with what's on the bottom. Okay, so a patient's weight is 125 kilograms. So our kilograms will cross out, and we are left with milliliters on the top and hours at the bottom. And that's what it was asking us for, isn't it? it is. All right, so 500 times 18 times 125. It's a real long number, so I'm going to keep it in my phone and just hit divide. So 25,000 units is going to be 45 milliliters per hour. Yup. Alright, another heparin problem. So, your patient has an order for heparin bolus of 5,500 units, followed by an IV drip of 18 units per kilogram per hour. Your patient weighs 167 pounds. You have a heparin vial labeled heparin 5,000 units per milliliter. What will you give your patient for the initial bolus? And what will you set your IV pump at a continuous dose drip if your 1,000 milliliter bag has a total of 50,000 units? I don't know why I got stuck on 1,000. But anywho, alright, so we got two different questions that we're answering. So one is the bolus. So the bolus means that you're going to get just one large amount of medicine or one-time administration, like at once. Heparin is a weight-based medicine, and you need to get it up to a certain level in the blood. So therefore, they will order a loading dose or a bolus, and then you will have your drip going hour after hour, and you have to monitor the APTT or the anti-10A every 6 hours, or according to your facility's protocol. So bolus just means giving this one dose of heparin one time. So we are going to use the bottle that says that, and we are going to give 5,500 units. So we are looking for milliliters, okay? So if I have milliliter over 5,000 units, and my units are at the bottom, I wanted to cross out with what's on the top. So 5,500 units, the units will cross out, and you're left with milliliter. So 5,000. It's going to be 1.1 milliliters for your bolus amount, okay? So now we need to figure out how many milliliters per hour are we going to set our drop for the continuous infusion. So we're looking for milliliters on top, hours on the bottom, okay? And this is PPP, patient prescription product. So patient is 167 pounds. The prescription for your drip is going to be 18 units per kilogram an hour. And then you have a bag of 1,000 mLs of 50,000 units. Okay, so we're going to look for our milliliters on the top and our hours on the bottom. So I'm starting with my milliliters. So 1,000 milliliters per 50,000 units. Okay, now I can go to that middle P, which is your prescription, your order, and that's going to be 18 units per kilogram an hour. So units will cross out. Next, you have your patient's weight, but the patient's weight is in pounds. We need the patient's weight to be in kilograms according to the order, right? So therefore, you would have to include a metric conversion. So 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds. Kilogram is going to cross out. And then now we can put the patient's weight in pounds right here. Pounds cross out right there, and we have milliliters left on the top and hours left on the bottom, which is what we are looking for, and we can put it in our calculator and solve it. So 1,000 times 18 times 167 divided by 50,000 divided by 2.2. That's going to be 27.32 milliliters per hour, or if it asks you to round to the nearest tenths place, it's going to be 27.3 mLs per hour. Okay? All right. Here we go, another heparin problem. Right. Your patient has an order to receive a heparin bolus of 4,000 units, followed by an IV drip of 14 units per kilogram per hour. The patient weighs 203 pounds. You have a heparin vial labeled heparin 1,000 units. What will you give for the initial bolus, and then what will you set your pump if you have a drip bag of 1,000 milliliters per 40,000 units of heparin? So, two different questions in this problem. So we need to find the bolus, and then we need to find the drip. Does anybody want me to use another method to show you how to solve these problems besides dimensional analysis, like ratio, proportion, or desire over half? I'm going to give you a minute to ponder and answer. Ratio and proportion. Okay. I gotcha. Yeah, why not? Desired over half. Okay. Alright. So, ooh, it's hot. Alright. So for the bolus, we need 4,000 units, and the vial that you're drawing the medicine from is 1,000 units per ml. So if you were doing ratio and proportion, you would have 1,000 units per 1 ml. That's your medicine. Then on this other side, we are looking for 4,000 units, and we don't know how many milliliters. So then you would cross multiply and divide. So 1,000x is going to equal 4,000. To isolate x, you need to divide on both sides. So 1,000 divided by 1,000. X is by itself. That's going to be 4 milliliters. And then for Miss Sin, desired over half, you desire 4,000 units. We have 1,000 units in 1 milliliter. 4 divided by 1 times 1 is 4 mLs. So that's how you do your bolus for, that's how you answer that in dimensional now. Desired over half and ratio and proportion. Ooh. All right. So now, come on, thing, go down. All right. To do your drips for ratio, proportion, and desired over half, you basically have to convert your weight to kilograms, find out how many units, and then you can use either the ratio and proportion to cross multiply or the desired over half formula. So in order for us to convert the weight, that'll be 203 pounds divided by 2.2, because there is 2.2 pounds in a kilogram. So 203 divided by 2.2, which is going to be 92.27 kgs. So then you would take your kilograms and go to your order and find out how many units. So it's going to be 14 units times 92.27 kilograms. So 92.27 times 14 is 1,291.78 units. Now you can set it up and solve. So we have our bag, which is 1,000 mLs of 40,000 units. We don't know how many mLs, so that's going to be X over that 1,291.78 units. So cross multiply and divide. So 40,000 X equals that long number. We're going to divide each side by 40,000. Times. Yep. And that's going to cross out, and then you'll get 0.03 milliliters an hour. So barely anything. Alright, but if you did it with desired over half, you have this many units. Over what's available. And then you'll get the same thing. Okay? Alright. So the doctor orders a 250 ml bag of IV normal saline to be infused at 20 drops a minute. The drop factor is 10 drops a milliliter. You start the infusion at 3:30. At what time will the infusion be completed? Okay, so we are looking for time. So hours, right? Okay, so what do we have here? We have the volume, we have the rate, and then we have the drip factor. You also have the time at which the drip was started. So we are looking for hours. If I'm looking for hours, I'm starting with hours. Okay? So 1 hour is going to be 60 minutes. Because you don't see hour, do you? You have drops per minute. Alright. So now you can put your minutes on. 1 minute over 20 drops. Cross that out. So then you have your drop factor, which is going to be 10 drops per 1 ml. So your drops will cross out. Now you have your 250 milliliter, which is going to cross out. And you are left with hours. So 10 times 250 divided by 60 divided by 20. That's going to be 2.08 hours. So we need to convert. This song irritates my face. So we need to convert our 0.8 or 0.08 to minutes. Okay, so we'll take that. So times 60, and that'll tell us how many minutes that is. 0.08 times 60 is 4.8 minutes, so we'll say 5. Okay, so it's 2 hours and 5 minutes. So if we started at 15:30, and it takes 2 hours and 5 minutes to infuse this medicine. What time will the infusion be complete? Yup. So think about it like this. This is your hours, these are your minutes. Hey, turn it up. Alright. A client weighs 115 pounds. The nurse is to start drug D at 7.5 mics per kilogram per minute. The drug D is labeled 400 milligrams and 250 milliliters of normal saline. How many milliliters per hour will the IV infuse? So, we are looking for, well, if I can write on it, we are looking for this, okay? So milliliters per hour. Patient, prescription, product, PPP. So our patient's weight is 115 pounds. This is what's being prescribed, and this is what we have for our medicine. So we're going to look for milliliters. I'm going to start with milliliters first, and I'm going to put it on the top. So 250 milliliters over 400 milligrams, okay? So then we can go to our order. But look at our order. It's in micrograms. We need milligrams to cross out what's on the bottom, don't we? So we'll do a conversion. 1 milligram. Yes, ma'am, conversion. All right. How you doing, Miss Ebony? So we'll cross out our milligrams. Now we can do our micrograms. 7.5 mics per kg per minute. So our micrograms cross out. And our patient's weight is in pounds. We need, oh, thank you for the rose. I'm not going to do the little weird AI. So sweet and all that. No, I can't do it. Sorry. But thank you. Okay, so our patient's weight is in pounds. We need another conversion, don't we? All right. 1 kg over 2.2 pounds. Kilograms cross out, and now we have 115 pounds. That crosses out as well, and then we have milliliters per minute. Are we done? Need one more conversion because we want hours at the bottom. So we'll put 60 minutes over 1 hour. Now we can solve. So 250 times 7.5 times 115 times 60 divide 400 divide 1000 divide 2.2. 14.7 milliliters over hours. Yay! I'm glad you're liking the little DA. I always was told if you say little in front of something, you kind of hating on it. Like your little, I see your little friend over there. See, you got your little car. See, like your little dimensional analysis. But I'm glad. I mean, once you get dimensional analysis, like you could literally solve world peace. Like, no, I'm just kidding. But dosage calculation, yeah, you could. Alright, so let's do this one. This is the Grand Papa finale. So this is like the ultimate use of dimensional analysis. Here we go. Patient has drug D, infusing at 13.5 milliliters an hour. His weight is 75 kilograms. The concentration of drug D is 1 gram in 250 mLs of D5W. At what rate in micrograms per kilogram per minute is drug D infusing? Don't kill me. Y'all all right? So, we want micrograms of, Ebony, you got quiet. Are you still here? Micrograms on the top and kg in minute at the bottom. That's what we want, okay? So, if I'm going to be looking for okay, good. If we're looking for micrograms, I'm going to start with micrograms, okay? So, we don't have micrograms nowhere. All we have is grams and kilograms for the weight, and we got this rate, don't we? Okay? So, let us do this right here, but we'll convert it to micrograms, okay? So, okay, we do the micrograms on the top and milligrams on the bottom, because you know you can't just do one step from microgram to gram, okay? You gotta do it like from milligram then to gram, okay? So 1 milligram is 1,000 micrograms, okay? Then we got milligram to gram. So we want our milligrams to cross out, okay? So 1,000 milligrams is 1 gram. All right? Now we get, you could add 6 zeros, but see, that's what I was talking about. Like, you want the dimensional analysis to work. You want to work the dimensional analysis, not the dimensional analysis to work you. But basically, like, you do conversions and this and that and this and that and third before you put it into the problem. Sometimes you can mess up. So what if you didn't know that it was 6 zeros? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. All right. So now we got 1 gram. Yeah. 1 gram in 250 milliliters, okay? So our milligrams crossed out and our grams crossed out. All right, so we got 250 mLs now, okay? So we got 13.5 milliliters per 1 hour. That's gonna cross out. All right. So we want, yay! Okay, Tony, no, dimensional analysis is fun. you just gotta understand what the process is, where it crosses stuff out, what's on the top is gonna cross out with what's on the bottom, and use the information that's in the problem and go step by step. So this one is very, very advanced. Because you're asking for milligrams per kilogram per minute. Normally, they don't ask you that. They give that to you. But you've been given this information, so you can still figure it out using dimensional analysis. That's why we're going to look at it, okay? All right. So, we got hour at the... Okay, so we got milligrams at the top. Check. That's what we want. This is our goal. This is our goal. We want micrograms at the top, we want kilograms at the bottom, and we want minutes as well, okay? So we have an hour at the bottom. We want minutes, right? So if we put hours at the top, we can put minutes at the bottom. So we do 1 hour is 60 minutes. Boom. So now we got our minutes at the bottom as well, don't we? Okay. So now we want kilograms at the bottom as well. So what is his weight? 75 kilograms. So you don't even need to do a conversion factor right here. Now, I'm finna blow your mind. Because isn't this the same as this if you flip-flopped it? Yeah, it is. All right. So now you can do and what were you left with? Micrograms on the top, minutes on the bottom, kilograms on the bottom. And that's what we're looking for, isn't it? Yes! Oh, thank you. Thank you, y'all. Y'all are too kind. I really appreciate it. I just be trying to help the nursing students, y'all. Try to help the students. Alrighty, so 1,000 times 1,000 times 1 times 13.5. Then I'm going to get to the end of the top and divide. So divided by 1, divided by 1, 250, divided by 60, divided by 75. So that's going to equal 12 microgram per kilogram per minute. And y'all just figured that out. Look at you. Is that what you got? Did you work it out with me? If not, it's okay. That was a tough one. All right, y'all. It's that time. Oh, nope, that's not it. It's this. Yay! Nurse chat. So, what y'all think about the lesson tonight? The questions. Do we have any requests for Sunday? So, I do this on Wednesday nights, and I do this on Sunday nights as well. Now, I'm going to tell you now, October is a little funky. It is very packed. It is too much going on, but we going to get through it. So, some nights I might not be on Sunday, some nights I might not be on Wednesday, but I will still give you something. All right. I appreciate y'all being here. For the new people who have come, I appreciate you being here tonight. You know, my box is open, my DM is open, my box, not my box, but my DM is open, my inbox is open. I've been a nurse for 13 years, since 2010. And I do practice now. I'm a med-surg nurse and I work night shift. So I am a real life nurse. So if you have any questions about nursing school, about dosage calculations, about nursing practice, anything, you may ask it at this time.